Hey there, everybody. Welcome to In the Kitchen with Tally Faye. We're having a good evening this evening and had a great day today. This is my daughter, Coral, and she's going to help me with this recipe tonight. She's spending the weekend with me, so we've had a girls' weekend, and we got to go do some shopping and all that good stuff, and went to Edom, Texas.
Yes.
If you had never been to Edom, Texas, and you'd like to go ratting around with
It's like an art. It's like an art. The city of art. It would be. I would consider it an Austin in the
Austin, yeah,
in the middle of East Texas.
It's almost like a little Austin out in the middle of nowhere, y'all. But anyway, they have some great little shops. We had a good time. That was yesterday, and then today we spent the day up in Iola, Texas, right here. They had their annual heyday, and of course all the booths and the stores and the opening of a new little cafe there. A good friend of ours. It's called Chicken Foot, and this guy has put in some work, and we're hoping he has a good go with this. So
yeah.
But anyway, we've had a great day. We've been blessed and just so happy, and we hope everybody else is too. So tonight, what we're working on is porcupine meatballs. Have you ever made porcupine? Did you know what they were?
I didn't know what they were. I was like, what's a porcupine meatball?
I have so many people asking me that, but I remember that from a kid. I remember Mama making that dish. I didn't know how it was made, but I knew it was called porcupine meatballs. And it's nothing but the fact that it's got rice in it, in your meatballs, okay? And that's why they're called porcupine meatballs. But what we have here, and you can half this recipe if it's just, say, you and your husband, or like, a couple people or whatever, you can half this recipe. But we are doing double of that, what it normally would call for on it. So absolutely, we're doubling the recipe. That's what we're doing. So I have in here to start with 2 pounds of hamburger meat, okay? 2 pounds of hamburger meat. And the next thing we're going to do is add in, we have 2 eggs that I'm going to beat up. Okay, let me tell y'all this. It calls for parsley. Well, I don't have any parsley, but I love to do this, y'all. It smells so good. I love to do this in place of my parsley, and that is celery leaves. So I took me some celery out of there, and we need, what did it call for, Coral? A couple tablespoons?
Couple tablespoons of celery tops.
Yeah.
Chopped parsley.
Right, chopped parsley.
Celery
tops. So anyway, we're just going to, this doesn't have to be measured that much on all of that, right? So we're just giving you ballpark things on it. So she's going to chop this up, and we'll see. We're going to go ahead and add that in there when you get that done. But I've got to crack these eggs. I'm going to go ahead and beat them up a little bit. Get that done. And I will, at the end of the video, try to go over the recipe. If I can remember it, y'all know how bad I am about remembering that. But it's such an easy recipe, and it's good comfort food. I like making this old home-time comfort food.
I wonder if they started this because back in the good old days.
That's enough. That is absolutely enough. That'll work right there.
Okay. But back in the day where they were where beef was harder to come by, or not really harder to come by, but you had big families or whatever. Maybe they were trying to stretch it by adding
This is absolutely a poor man's dish, girl. I'm going to call it a poor man's dish. I'm not ashamed. I tell you what, some of those.
That's what they did?
Absolutely. I tell you what, if we ate it when I was a kid, it was probably a poor man's dish,
Well, with all my boys and all of the stuff that they eat, like just the fact that they eat so much, I wonder, do you want me to put these in?
Yep, just go ahead and put your...
I've always added beans to any meat dish we have, just to hearty it up and give them more protein.
Okay, now I have a couple tablespoons. Is that what we decided?
Yes, a couple of tablespoons.
Okay, a couple tablespoons of finely chopped onion. Put that in there.
And we used green onion.
I did. I love to cook with the green onions off, but you don't have to have that. I mean, that's just, I had them and I wanted to use them. So anyway, a couple tablespoons of chopped onion, and then on the salt. Oops, I can't remember what it said on that.
I wanted to say it was like a teaspoon.
I'm going to do that. I'm just going to say, you know, a healthy teaspoon on the salt and the same thing on the pepper, okay? We'll go ahead and put a good thing of pepper in there. I mean, it's
it already smells good.
2 pounds of meat going on in there. I hear that spaghetti squash starting to... And then we're just going to add some garlic powder. Garlic powder, okay? And I need to put my camera down there a little bit. I didn't realize. Sorry, guys. Okay. Anyway, there, I'm just going to put some garlic in there, right? And we're going to take this and my eggs. Did I put, oh, yeah, I put my eggs in it. Okay, then, so what we got to do now is take our eggs and, our meat and stuff, and get it all stirred up and everything, and we're going to roll up meatballs. And the old recipe calls for making 20 meatballs, 20 small meatballs out of 1 pound of hamburger meat.
This would be like the hamburger like you'd get on a pizza.
I don't believe we're going to make them that small. We'll probably we'll shoot for making 10 meatballs per pound. That's up to you. If you got a bunch of kids and you're trying to feed them or whatever, you can make a bunch of little meatballs with it, okay? But, oh, I almost forgot. Duh.
You gotta put your rice in it.
The porcupine part, because the sauce stuff comes later. All right.
It's uncooked, y'all.
Yes. It's just raw rice. Regular raw rice, okay? Long grain, raw rice. We're going to put that in there, and this is a...
full cup. Half cup.
Yes, it was a half a cup. That's right, because it called for that quarter in that deal. Okay, a half a cup of rice in this. Now, we're going to get in here and get this all stirred up and roll us out some meatballs, and I'm not going to subject y'all to that. So, we get the meatballs rolled up and everything, and we'll be back and show you the rest of the recipe and how it works out. Okay, y'all. We've got our meatballs rolled up, and how many? We ended up with
21
hamburger balls out of this out of 2 pounds of hamburger meat.
So considering the size of my hand next to these meatballs,
I'll show it to them. Look, see, look, there they are.
Those are really big meatballs. You could probably get 2 out of that, but we're foodies and we like a lot of meat.
So
we made big meatballs.
All right, y'all. So there's our meatballs. You make them how you want them, right? That will affect your cooking time, you know, depending on how big of your meatballs in there, but still that rice still has to cook in it, right? So we got to give that time, and we're probably going to cook them in there once we get our sauce on there and everything. What did I say, Coral, about 25, 30 minutes? Yeah, you know, because we're going to be simmering them in there. But first things first, we're going to take these meatballs. I've got my skillet over here heating up, y'all, and I just sprayed it with oil, but that's all right. They'll sizzle when We're going to sear these meatballs a little bit. You're not cooking them, okay? So we want to get these things seared a little bit. Get that done, and then I'll show you the sauce stuff that we're going to put over them. But let's get this done first. First things first, isn't that what I always say? We'll get our meatballs going here.
And put the cart before the horse, huh?
Yep. And we got to get them all in here, girl. We have to get them all in there. All 21 meatballs in that big skillet. I used my big stainless steel skillet because it has that big lid that fits it so nice. So you figure out what you want to do, because you're going to have to cover them when you get ready to do your sauce and let them sit there and simmer.
Hey, Mama, we got like maybe a wee bitty problem.
All right, hold on a minute. And so anyway, that's what we're doing there, okay? We're going to do that, and I'll be back on after we get them seared. Okay, y'all. Here's our meatballs. We got them seared up. See, they're just seared and got the rice in them and stuff and everything. They're a little bit hard to handle. You just have to let them sear really good before you try to flip them over and stuff, because they'll break apart. But, you know, if you lose a couple here and there or whatever, you know, if you got 21 meatballs, you got a couple to spare, right? I mean,
oh, yeah.
I think we'll be all right. And on top of that, I think that some of that giblets, like or whatever, be good in our sauce that we're going to put on it. So what we're going to do now is take our, hold on a second, I got on my hands. We'll do it in the skillet over here so y'all can see what we're doing before we put it on the burner. What we do now is we have, I forgot to tell y'all this a while ago. In our hamburger meat, when we were mixing our ingredients up, this recipe calls for 2 cans of tomato soup, right? So what we did was you put half of a can in with your meat before, while you're stirring it up to get ready to make your meatballs, okay? So half of 1 can goes in there. So now we have 1.5 cans that we're fixing to pour for our sauce over the meatballs. And we're just going to pour it all over it like this.
Ooh, that looks good.
It really smells good, y'all.
And a while ago, y'all, when I said we might have an eeny-weeny problem, it's because I did not think that all of the meatballs were going to fit in the pan. I've actually never made meatballs before. I cheat. I have little kids. I buy them.
Yeah, and I don't like bought meatballs. I don't like the bought meatballs, and I know a lot of people use them. So that's just a preference there or whatever. Okay, so now we have our 1.5 cans of tomato soup in there, right? So now what I did was I opened a can of Rotel tomatoes, okay? And what I did was I drained the juice into my little measuring bowl. So however much juice was in there, I added enough water to make it be 1 cup of liquid. So that is my Rotel liquid, and added water until it made 1 cup, okay? So we just take that and we're just going to pour that all over our soup, right? Then the next thing we're going to do is add our drained Rotels. Take them and just look at that, girl. Man.
Smells good.
Yes. And now I have here 2 teaspoons, and they're big, healthy teaspoons. I'd just take it and shake it in there if I wasn't having to measure for y'all. But I've got a couple of healthy teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I said it right, didn't I? I said it right.
We just call it the W sauce. It's easier that way.
Is that what y'all say, the W sauce? Okay, and then here we have, it's a little shy of a full cup. But all it is the tops off of the onions that we chopped for the meatballs. So we just took the green onion tops, and I'm just going to take them and put them all in here.
Just sprinkle them all over.
That should be delicious, y'all. So now everything is in here. I'll show it to you up close. Oh, that's heavy. Look at that.
Oh, that's
right.
so pretty.
All right, I'm going to take it, put it on the stovetop, and oh, the egg timer's going off. Okay, go ahead and just put it on there, Coral, and we're going to put it on the stovetop, and we're going to let it simmer covered. We're going to let it simmer covered for probably 25 to 30 minutes. You want your rice to get done. That's what you're wanting, right? And you should gently go every now and then, go over there and stir it just a little bit. Stir your meatballs around and stuff. Oh, I could put it back up here now, can't I, Coral? Yeah. So we'll do that and let them cook, and we will come back when they are through simmering and all smelling delicious and stuff, and we'll show you pretty shortly here how the spaghetti squash comes out as well. So we'll see y'all here in a few.
See y'all later.
Okay, guys, our porcupine meatballs are done. Now listen, it takes a while. I have been cooking this for a good hour. Because that rice has to get done. And you do have to stir it gently a little bit here and there and stuff. And right at the very end, I had to add a little more water. I just added me just a little more water. And the sauce recipe for putting where you put the tomato soup and the Worcestershire and
tomatoes and the
Rotel. Yeah, the Rotel. Yeah. The Rotel. And then your water and stuff in there. But it didn't call for any kind of salt or pepper or garlic or anything. so it's very just tomatoey, you know, tomatoey tasting like, but it's great with that bite of meatball. So it's up to you if you want to add some more salt and pepper to your sauce that it's cooking in. But
I think it would be too salty. In my opinion, it would be too salty if you added to the
you know, you'll think that you need to add something to it, and I don't think so really. I think because those meatballs they're full of flavor. They're delicious, y'all.
Because we tried the sauce. We tried the sauce by itself, and I was like, it's bland. And then we tried it with the meat.
With the bite of the meat, and you're like, okay.
We don't need anything else.
Yep. So I'm going to show them to you up close. If I can carry this skillet across here, y'all look at this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. But there are the meatballs, porcupine meatballs, y'all. And we're going to take it up on a plate and show you just how delicious this meal's going to be tonight. So.
And again, remember, y'all, you seared these meatballs, and so some of them fell apart, so you're going to see some like meat giblets.
But that's okay.
But that's okay, because you still have full-size meatballs.
Absolutely. You've got meatball bites in there and stuff. Look at that. See how that's doing?
Looks amazing.
Okay, put some spaghetti squash on there, Coral.
All right.
And we'll fix this salad going on here with it.
And we put a club of butter.
Yes.
We like butter. We put a club of butter in here.
When you get through stirring that spaghetti squash up in the hole, after it's baked like that, it's already got all your salt and pepper and everything in it. So, you know, just put you a big old blob of butter in there and let it melt. And y'all, here is
that is a pretty plate.
Our porcupine meatballs and our beautiful pile of spaghetti squash there, along with a fresh, delicious salad. Let me put it over here and I'll show y'all this part right before we get off so you can see that. Oh, I turned it the wrong way. There we go. Yeah, I'll have them all over the place. Look at that, y'all. What do you think? Does that not look delicious?
Oh, I'm
Would you feed that to your family? I think so. I hope y'all try this recipe and that you enjoy it, and let me know what you think. And I'm glad you got to cook with me tonight, baby. I enjoyed it.
I did too, Mama.
All right. Love you guys, and y'all try this meal out. And we'll talk to you soon in the kitchen with Hallie Faye.
Bye.